Welcome into the Beat Sessions. I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. Let's talk about First Aid Kit and their new record, Palomino. They released that on November 4th. This is the fifth studio album for the duo of Clara and Johanna Soderberg, and their follow up to 2018's Ruins, an album that they put out in January of that year. So it has been almost 5 years since we've had new material from these two. Thrilled to talk about this record. Energy just pouring off of this thing. You can see it in the album title. Those two, they got that look, like they are just ready to go to work. It's in the album title, Palomino. I mean, not just any horse, especially being from the Southwest, but the Palomino. I think of that animal and I don't think of it being contained. I don't think of it being in a barn or in a pen, unless we're talking about Mr. Ed. When I think of that horse, I think of open frontier, and I think of the wind through your hair, or through my face in my case. I think of freedom. And that's what I'm loving about this record. Clara and Johanna, they sound like they are freer than they've ever been in their entire lives, personally, artistically, and I love that. I love the energy. And I think that in conjunction with the growth, the experimentation that you're getting on this album, make it their best to date. And there might be some of you long-term fans that are going to disagree with me. And I will admit that this is a band that, while I've listened to them over the years, I'm not a diehard fan and I haven't listened to them that much. But I can see myself listening to this new record a lot. What I dig about it is that it's still very much grounded in that contemporary folk feel that they built their reputation on. There's that driving Americana influence for sure throughout this record. But there's so much more as far as the instrumentation, some horn arrangements, string arrangements. There's some moments where you get like nice electric guitar, just a little bit of rock and roll. It almost kind of like Dylan going electric a bit. But, First Aid Kit, I think, really branching out and moving in an excellent direction and in a way that feels natural. This project doesn't feel forced. It feels like eventually these two ladies were going to move this project in this direction. So I appreciate it for that reason. And what I also love is the compositions themselves are so adventurous. And it's, again, a matter of opinion, but there's moments in the song where all of these songs just, like, I wouldn't expect the horn arrangements to come in. I didn't expect the strings, or, even when you do expect something, it's so pleasant and it's so well done that you just almost can't help but feel tickled. Like, there were a couple moments where I just giggled because I was so pleased with, just the way that like some drums hit or the way some horns came in. I really dig these compositions. And you were talking about Phoenix earlier in the week, a band that's been around for 25 years. And I think that First Aid Kit very much doing a lot of similar things as far as the consistency in their songwriting, just nailing those nuances, really finding ways to make their sound so much fun. And this record is a brilliant celebration of that. I got to say too, Joanna on bass, I have a soft spot for an amazing female bass player. I love the women in rock, and I love a female bass player. She might be one of my favorite bass players now. Listening to this record, listening to the work that she's putting together on these compositions, I'm loving what she's doing on this record. Very excited to talk about it. Kicks off with Out of My Head. Big synth vocal in the intro. I love how big the vocal performance is on this record. Both of them just sound amazing. Their voices together, the harmonies that are there, incredible. And overall, I really dig the production in the way that, the vocal element really is the highlight of all these songs. Even with all the fun elements in the instrumentation, I think the melodies that they're putting together, the harmonies that are there, are just the highlight of this thing for sure. But I love the way that the drums kick in on this song. You just get this funky groove that the song settles into. Really nice way to open things up. Gives you a pretty good taste of what you're going to feel for the next 10 songs afterwards, 39 minutes. Almost just a perfect runtime on this thing. I really love the continuity of this record as well. Angel, your second song, gentle acoustic riff with other minimal components to open up. I love the local, just really lovely folk feel on this thing. I love the drive. And then the vocals are just killer on this song. I like the way that the chorus fills out a little bit, not too much, but definitely changes things up from the verse a little bit. Ready to Run, your third track, piano driven, cool break beat. I really like the light synth in this track as well. Just this nice little wash that's in the back. It's just a track that builds beautifully, one that you get lost in. I really enjoyed this track. Turning On to You, your fourth song. This is one of my favorites. I love the classic rock feel of this song. The bass, Oh, ooh, Joanna's bass tone on this song is really sexy. I did like the little acoustic guitar that's in this song, and then just a bit of electric guitar, the horn arrangement. This song really reminded me a lot of Van Morrison. I really love the feel of it. Fallen Snow, your fifth track. Love the lead in with that thick bass tone. Another great riff from Joanna there. Lovely, lovely, just Americana feel on this track. I like the fiddle that works in this thing. It's it's got kind of a contemporary punk feel, just a little bit to it. It reminded me of like if Alison Krauss collaborated with the Pixies. That's what I was getting off this thing. Wild Horses, your second track. Got this gentle rolling acoustic guitar. I love the subtle horns that are going to work on this thing. Just lovely nuances that build in. And that's really what I'm loving about the music. Thematically, Palomino, you think of that idea of freedom, and lyrically, just the writing, follow along with the lyrics in this music, because it is about dealing with love, about dealing with life. And oftentimes it's about the hard truth that there's no resolution really, or oftentimes the resolution is something that leaves you feeling unsatisfied, whether it's a broken relationship, a lover that you just walk away from, or maybe it's a project, a job that you walk away for, that something that just feels unfinished. And oftentimes in life we have these just these breaks, and they can be tough to deal with, and it's more just about moving on from that and moving forward, as difficult as that can be. And so I like that lyrically about Joanna and Clara approaching life in a realistic fashion that way. Oftentimes the decisions that we make to get that freedom, to feel that wind in our hair and our face, it requires us to make sacrifices, to lose things that that we identify we might care about to a certain degree, but ultimately we can see that they're holding us back and hindering us. And it's a tough reality. And I love that, getting older, they've reached that age where, I think they're probably like 5 years younger than I am, but you get into your 30s and it's something that starts to happen. You start to value your tighter, closer relationships, and, some of those peripheral ones, those, I guess, those people that you think of as friends, but they're more just acquaintances. They kind of just fall off, and you really start to lock in on what you care about the most. And I'm feeling that so much thematically on this record, and I love it for that reason. Got a little sidetracked there talking about the lyrics, but to get back into the track list, the last one is going to kick off your B-side. Really like the gospel feel in the intro on the vocal here. Keeps this simple acoustic vocal arrangement for a few measures, and then kicks in nice. I like the folk meets alternative rock feel on this song. Chorus provides a nice bright melody. It's a great way to kick things off on the B-side. Excuse me. Nobody Knows, your eighth song. Surf rock meets a little bossa nova. This is a groovy track, mixing things up a little bit. It's got kind of a classic pop feel when the string arrangements come in. I adore the way the percussion comes in on this song. It's really fun the way that it fills in. A Feeling That Never Came, your ninth song. This is definitely the best song on the record. I love the cool little bass lick. It's nice and light that comes in. You get a little light guitar to open this thing up as well. And then the hook. Oh, it's so good. When the electric guitar hits, you get just like these other little elements that work in, but then like just this total glam rock feel once it hits. And it reminds me of T-Rex so much. The vibe on this thing, it's so groovy, it's so infectious. Might be one of my favorite songs of the year as well. 29 Palms Highway, your penultimate track. Breezy 70s rock feel, bit of psychedelic feel, especially in the intro on this thing. I really like another great bass arrangement. I really like the strings on this song as well. Nice penultimate track, backing things off, mellowing things out a bit. And then Palomino, your final song. Big drums and guitar. That intro, given the title track, is perfect. And the 80s heartland rock and roll feel that this song captures, I love it. I think it's a marvelous way to close this project out. This is a vinyl please for sure. I'm thrilled about this record. I definitely think it is their best project to date, and I'm excited to just keep flipping this thing over and over again on the turntable. Hope you feel the same way about it. Hope you find this review helpful. Hope you enjoyed listening to this album. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, do all the things to help Keith, MB, and I blow this project up in 2022, and stay tuned throughout the week for more album reviews. We will see you next time on the Beat Sessions.